If it doesn't fall, we're good.
Nope.
Okay,
All right.
it's going.
So, here with Paul Macbeth, we are just finishing a week out at La Paz after having built a new course, the first project for the Paul Macbeth Foundation. So, just want to have a little chat with you about why we're here, who you are, why people are going crazy about this, as we saw.
Yeah. I mean, I guess who I am and what people know me for is professional disc golfer, 5-time world champion.
Cool.
So I guess that's kind of the accolades, the disc golf
Kind of a
side.
big deal.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, grew up in Huntington Beach, California.
How old are you right now?
30.
You're 30.
Yeah,
Okay.
30.
When did you win for the first time?
I won my first world title in 2012. So I think right around 21, 22. I have a
Okay.
summer birthday. Worlds are
Gotcha.
usually in the summer. So 21, 22 right there. That won 4 in a row. And then I just won in 2019. It's the last one that we had.
So you're current world champion.
Yeah,
right now.
current world
Okay.
champion right now. But yeah, grew up in Huntington Beach, California. Lived there for the first 18, 19 years of my life, and then started moving around. I turned professional in disc golf when I was 17, so 2008.
Wow.
And then, yeah, pretty much once I started touring for disc golf and went professional, I pretty much moved around the country,
Haven't
in
looked
the
back.
U.S. a little bit. Yeah, haven't looked back, and now I'm living on the East Coast in Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia, and yeah, completed the first disc golf course in Mexico. I shouldn't say it's not the first disc golf course.
In the Baja Peninsula.
In the Baja Peninsula, yeah.
With
So-
permanent baskets.
with permanent baskets, yep.
Yeah.
So we installed that. We were here 4 days. Well, we've been in Mexico. This I think combined total will be six days. But we were in Rancho El Camino, just outside of La Paz, for 4 days straight. Just hard work. This hat was brand new. Now it's covered in sweat stains. So we were out there putting the course in, doing clinics, introducing disc golf. Not even teaching disc golf, introducing disc
Like-
golf too.
People didn't even know what the sport was.
Yeah.
They came up to you like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
they have no idea who you are or anything at all. Yeah.
And
it was pretty crazy.
I like that.
yeah, I know. I
don't-
can tell.
I like being normal. I don't care. Like, yeah, I play disc golf really well. I have a couple world titles, but at the end of the day, I just want to, hang out with.
I will say that after having hung out with you this week, that's the biggest takeaway that I'm getting from all of this is that you're actually a really cool person, super humble, down to earth. You don't like to be the center of attention. That's respectable, man.
I
Really,
appreciate
because
that.
a lot of people who, if they could be in your position, they wouldn't be able to take it so well. They would let their ego get to their head very quickly.
Oh yeah, and I'm being in this position, I can see why.
Yeah.
Like, so many people offer you so many things for free, or they're like, let's go do this, let's go do that. You have a lot of people around you, and they want you there because you're somebody of some sort,
Yeah.
and it's easy to fall into that. But luckily, I wasn't raised that way, and I never looked up to that.
Yeah.
I looked up to athletes that I watched that were humble. They still had the same friends growing up. They still knew. They weren't out there at the clubs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that, and I like giving back. And this course and this foundation is all about that.
Cool, man. So how did you even get into disc golf in the first place?
Well, my dad played disc golf. When I first remember disc golf, he had already been playing for like almost 20 years.
Okay.
So
He's like an OG player from back in the
from
day.
the sounds of it, yeah,
okay.
80s or something, 70s.
Mhm.
I don't know, long time. But
Yeah.
he was like a casual.
Yeah.
So he played every Sunday with his buddies. They'd
Oh,
go out
okay.
there every Sunday.
Yeah.
They would go, so Huntington Beach, La Mirada, El Dorado. They would go to those courses every Sunday morning, and I'd get dragged along. My brother and I.
How old were you then?
I think probably about 7 or 8.
That's a good
But-
time.
He would take us. He would bribe us with donuts.
Uh huh.
So he'd be like, "All right, we'll stop at the donut shop if you come along," because I think he was responsible for us on Sundays.
Uh-huh.
And he'd bring our bikes.
Okay.
So we would just ride our bikes around course. We really liked Huntington Beach
Uh huh.
because they had the hills and stuff like that, so you could ride
Yeah.
down the hills and stuff. And it was easier than the grass of La Mirada. So he would bribe us pretty much like that. So I'd toss a disc here and there, but I didn't really get into disc golf until I was about 14.
Okay.
High school age, and it was just I grew up playing baseball my entire life, So once I got to high school, I went to a high school that I didn't really know anyone at.
Mhm.
I wasn't playing baseball there,
Yeah.
but I love sports.
Yeah.
So I just had to find an activity that I felt like that would keep me out of trouble and give me something to do.
Yeah.
But and still use the athletic background that I had built up to that point, and it just happened to be disc golf.
Was there a course nearby?
Yeah, I had a course about I'd say 7 to 10 minutes away from my house.
Okay.
So real close, real easy to get to, and it was actually kind of on the way back from my school to my house.
Mhm.
So my mom would pick me up at school, drop me off at the course, go do whatever she had to do, and then pick me up at dark. And I did that for all through high school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. And how was your progression? Did you get really good really quick, or did it take a lot of work for you to get good?
It definitely took a lot of work, but I think I progressed pretty fast in the sense of I enjoyed putting. I thought putting was really fun, and I wanted to throw far.
Mm-hmm.
So that was I remember going out to fields and just throwing as hard as I can, and throwing all the time, and just seeing how far. And then I remember there was one hole on our course that was over 400 feet. There might have been two, but I know one for sure. And it was kind of just a straight shot, and then it'd go around this hillside, and the basket was hidden behind this hillside. It was the only real like blind hole, but it took about 400 something feet of power to get around the corner.
Okay.
So I remember getting to the corner, then kind of getting it to where it's out of sight a little bit, and then finally getting it around, and then eventually being able to throw past the basket. So I remember the progression of that. I don't know how long the span was between all of it,
Years?
but yeah, I'd say
Months or
probably
years?
about a year or two.
Okay.
Because I started out all forehand as well, so there was no way to get it there forehand.
Interesting.
Then learned backhand, but
Because of the baseball background. I
yep.
assume.
And it's just I think naturally everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but a majority will, when they first start, will throw further forehand because everyone's used to throwing stuff this way. That's not normal.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, backhand's not a normal motion that you do all the time. So, yeah, I just knew I could throw far like that, a lot further like that. But then I realized if I wanted to get better, I needed the disc to go the other way. So learned backhand, and yeah, that hole was the one that was really just a goal for me. And yeah, I'd say probably about a year or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to decide? Okay, I need to start playing tournaments now.
Well, so my home course, we had leagues. We'd have a weekly league every Wednesday,
okay.
and it was a handicap league.
And you'd go play that. Okay.
I got into it pretty early. So the handicap league was very helpful because everyone was pretty much on a level playing field.
Yeah.
You know, no matter if you're a kid, a female, a male, masters, whatever, like age protected. Everyone was on a pretty level playing field, and the way that they did it was like if they wanted everyone to shoot 10 under, you know, if I shot even par, I'd probably only get 6 or 7 strokes because they want me to have a good day to get to that 10 under par, you know. So it was really cool to do that and be a part of that because every week there'd be some kind of competition, and if you didn't want to, it was later in the day, so you could the course is still open and stuff like that. So I think that was the first thing that got me into competitive disc golf, and then eventually PDGA tournaments.
Okay. And so at what point do you think you realize that, okay, this is a job, this isn't even like a fun thing anymore?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I went pro when I was 17. So prior to that,
early, okay.
Prior to that, I didn't really have a real job. So once I started playing tournaments and I was making money, it was a good amount for a kid.
17-year-old, yeah.
But yeah, traveling like that, I was splitting so much. You know, caravanning with people, carpooling, sharing hotels, sharing everything because I was 17, and in order to keep your expenses low, you had to share. You know, like I mean, we have 4 people in this hotel room right now. This is what it used to be like touring. So we would, I would do that, and I forgot the first half of that question.
At which point did you realize that this was like a job?
So that was all fun.
Yeah.
And then I actually went back to play baseball after high school. So I played baseball for about a year and a half or 2.
Like professionally?
It was like it wasn't semi-pro because we weren't getting paid, but it was like they call it like a college scout league. So basically, like it'd be college players when their season was out, they could go play this, stay fresh, and work on stuff, and still like scouts would show up and stuff like that. So, I went back and played that because my mom said if I was playing baseball, I wouldn't have to work. Like I could dedicate my time on that, and I went and did that, loved it, but I still felt like there was a point where I was like, man, even if I get as good as I want at baseball, like I'm just gonna go there, be might be a pro, and if I'm a pro, like what's that gonna do for the world? I'm just gonna be another pro athlete. That's just kind of there.
Mhm.
People they inspire people, but like there's still more levels I feel like to that. And disc golf I felt like was a sport that had so many more levels to go.
So you saw the potential and the growth.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I wanted to be a pioneer to push it further and further and further and further.
Okay.
So that was something I looked into. And the thing with baseball and disc golf is I never played for money. Like I
Mhm.
never like aspired like I'm gonna play baseball because I'm gonna be a millionaire. I play baseball because I love it. I never
Yeah.
played disc golf because I was like I'm gonna play disc golf because I'm gonna be a millionaire or anything like that. Like where it's money. Like if I can get by, like that's that. I think it's that whole thing of like if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So I chose disc golf. I felt like it could go so much further, and that's
Nice. So if you weren't in disc golf right now, you think you'd be playing baseball, or how have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you weren't playing disc golf?
not really.
No,
I haven't really
this
thought
is
about it.
it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
baseball would have been a huge part of it, but I also my grandfather's an architect, so I love building and stuff like that. So I went and got certified and stuff like that before doing sports because I felt like
Backup.
you always need a backup plan,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
just in case.
I got you.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you envision for the next few years?
What do I envision? With the foundation or just everything?
In general, I don't
In
know.
general?
What are your thoughts? How do you see yourself right now?
Yeah.
You think you're
Well-
at the top, or do you think there's still more room?
Oh, there's definitely more room. There's always more
Cool.
room to go up. As far as playing, I want to get a few more world titles, a lot more wins under my belt before I get to 40. I think that's the mark where everyone kind of sees where their career is and whether they keep playing, keep touring, or go a different direction. So, love to get to that point with my game, with a few more titles. And then with the foundation, we just wrapped up Project 1.1 is what the discs say, and it's like, this is it couldn't have gone any better.
Cool.
To be honest,
Yeah, I
it couldn't have
know.
gone any better. The group that we had here was just so awesome. We all got along. We made the most of this trip, and we'd never hung out before this.
No,
Never.
not at all.
You know?
It feels
And-
super chill.
Yeah, and it was just like everything just went so perfectly, and they took disc golf so well.
Yeah, I
took
think
it up
it's gonna
so
be big.
fast. It seemed like they loved it. To be honest, like more than I've ever seen at any clinic I've ever done, introducing disc golf to anywhere, like they absolutely loved it.
We
And-
left and they were still putting.
Oh yeah, they're still putting. Like we went to the top of the mountain, we threw down, and we went and found them all.
Yeah.
Like usually you throw them down, you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
We went and got them all because they
Yeah.
loved it, and
Yeah.
and kids even requested to come today because they were like, I want to go try it again. Joey had some stories about some kids that he gave a disc to because the kid was like, I want to go home and try this. Like I want to go home. I have a field. I want to go throw.
Yeah.
So it was
Hopefully-
incredible.
We'll see some future tournament players come out of this, I think. It'll be
Yeah,
cool.
and even if they continue to teach it and push it, it's got to grow somewhere. So if they just continue to share disc golf, I think that's the ultimate goal. And if we get a great player out of Mexico sooner
I
rather
would
than
love
later,
that, yeah.
I
I
can't
would
wait.
love that. As far as the Mexican people who don't know you, is there anything you want to say to people in Mexico who are just now starting to play disc golf? People who don't really know who you are, or who might know who you are, but
Mhm.
any words of encouragement for them?
Yeah, definitely. I think share disc golf. I think disc golf has. I mean, it's so awesome to be able to say this because disc golf has saved so many lives. Like it's given people something to do. It's given people
I agree.
jobs. It's
Yeah.
given, all sorts of things. It's just giving people hope. And the biggest thing this week that anytime I talk to someone is it's an opportunity. You can make the most out of your opportunity, or you can just let it go. But giving that opportunity of whether it's disc golf for the job or just something that like they need something to do, and it's a sport to where even if you feel alone
Mm-hmm.
and you are alone, you can still go out there and play disc golf and find something, whether you're connect with nature, whether you find yourself, whether you kind of just compete, like anything, that you're struggling with your life. Like, this is something that you can go in there and fill it with all the things that disc golf brings.
Yeah.
And to be, again, like you and me sitting here, we wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for disc golf.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's just it opens the door for so many things, and just if you can and you play it and you love it, or you're just getting into it, like, share it. You never know who needs this opportunity.
Cool. That's a good one. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Okay. As far as tournament goes, do you have any favorite tournaments or least favorite tournaments, or good anecdotes about tournaments that you want to tell us?
Favorite tournament, to be honest, is probably the European Open.
Oh,
in
Nokia?
Finland, Nokia, Finland. One, I really love the course, and two, whenever
It's
I go,
nicknamed the same as you.
it's nicknamed the Beast, yeah. And whenever I go to Europe, I know I'm going there for a purpose, and it's to go there and win this tournament.
Nice.
Like, my only goal when I go to Europe is win a tournament and spread, the love of disc golf, because I am a 5-time world champ, so that kind of means something. So I know it's special to so many other people, like,
Mm-hmm.
who watch disc golf, follow disc golf. Like I am.
The superstar.
Sure. Yeah. So they want to see me. They want to meet me. Just like I would want to see, like, Kobe or any other big time athlete. So I respect that. Like
you understand that from
Yeah, I
the
understand
point of
that.
view of the fan.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Vanessa Bryan actually did the Hall of Fame speech for Kobe, and she said like Kobe used to say, like she said, like, you're hurt, take a day off, and he's like, I can't do that. Like, these fans paid, this might be the only time they ever get to see me, and that's how I feel like when I go to these tournaments. Like, I feel like that's my job. So when I go to Europe, it's one of my favorites because we have signings, we have meet and greets, we have so much going on with the event that's set up because of the people that run it. UC and all his staff there that set this up, because they also see that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it looks awesome online. Whenever you watch it, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah.
real disc golf. over
Yeah,
there,
it is. So I love the course, I love the term, but I also love the purpose as a whole going out there.
Cool.
And sometimes here in the U.S. we just we're not here in the U.S. We're still in Mexico, but in the U.S. It's kind of, you just show up and you play. You don't do that extra stuff of being a professional. You kind of just showing up and playing a tournament and getting paid to do it sometimes if you do good enough. So
If you do
I
good
love
enough.
I love the professional side of that.
Yeah.
So that's why that's my favorite. And least favorite, I don't think there's one to be
Nah,
named.
like, you don't usually think about the negatives about,
No.
like,
No, I
if you
always-
have a bad tournament or something.
I always try to
you just,
find the
like,
positive.
brush it off.
Always
Yeah.
try to find the positives in everything.
Cool.
Everything. Even if the worst thing goes wrong, there's a lesson there to be learned,
Okay.
and that can
good.
help you in the future.
That's wise. All right. Well, I guess I just want to mention that. What do you think about the fact that we're starting to have actual PDGA tournaments in Mexico? Like Chapala last
Yeah.
month. Next
Yeah.
month, there's going to be a tournament in Cocoyoc, south of Mexico City.
Okay.
Which,
Mhm.
I would love to be able to go and have more people going and everything.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I think it's great. I think the PDJ events are great. I think if there's weekly events, those are going to grow disc golf more than anything. I think that's what got me into it. That's what got me hooked. That's what got me the competitive, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
Having something consistent will help build it. It's something to look forward to every week.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a tournament this month, a tournament that month, like, it's nice, but they're a little spread out. But if you can
Yeah.
have something almost every week that you're gonna do it, I think it hooks people, gets them involved more, and you can.
They
have
got
more
me like
numbers.
that.
Yeah, so it's incredible because I want to play one of these one day,
Cool.
But right now where I'm at in my career, it's a little difficult to get down
Obviously,
there.
yeah.
But as they grow, as these weeklies grow, as these players grow, as these tournaments grow, maybe my sponsor will say, go to Mexico this week instead of, we don't need you here in the U.S. this week. So.
If we ever have the first Mexican Open, I think it'll be yours for the
it'd be
taking.
an honor.
Yeah,
It'd be an honor to go.
Cool, dude. Well, thank you. Yeah, you're a really cool dude, and
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for having me on this trip and giving me the opportunity to help out and be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, well, thank
Really
you for
cool.
coming. You're a huge help translating. That you saved us a lot. So, thank you. Appreciate it.